Hello, everybody. Brent Jones, New Home Source Realty. How are you? I'm going to do something a little bit different. Instead of just me talking for 12 minutes, you get to have a treat today. I've got Brian Fox with Level Up Home Inspections. We're going to talk about home inspections and why you need one and what's covered and what does it cost and et cetera, et cetera. And I'll tell you, I've been in real estate for 30 years. And what you want when you're a realtor, what you want in real estate is you want good lenders that you can rely on, good title companies that you can rely on, good home inspectors that you can rely on. And Brian Fox is it. How did we even meet? Do you even remember?
I was teaching a CE class, and you're like, oh, so you can do pools and termites all at the same time? And I said, yes, sir. And you're like, good, you're hired. The guy that you were using at the time was getting older, and he kept taking little stuff off.
You're right, and he would sub out the termite report, and it would be 2 days before that guy would get out. And we're on a limited amount of time. So anyway, Brian Fox, Level Up Home Inspections. He's the best. He's the absolute best. He's gotten a little bit big time. He used to do all the inspections himself. Now he's got a crew, but he actually still takes my phone call and will actually come out and do the inspection himself. And that's what's so great about that is because he knows what to look for without scaring you to death about unnecessary kinds of stuff. So Brian, just real quick, for a home inspection, for somebody who's buying a home, number one, do they need to get the house inspected? And if so, why is that important?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of like test driving a car. You want to make sure that the brakes don't squeak and the tires look good. Same thing with a home inspection. That's what we're kind of there for, is to make sure when you get moved in that whatever is in the house you already know about, no surprises, and you can just kind of keep going on with about closing and getting moved into your house without having to worry about something popping up later on.
See, and that's a good analogy. It's kind of like, would you go buy, so you're going to buy a pre-existing home, would you go buy a used car and not pop the hood? And if you know what you're looking for, be sure it's in good mechanical shape. Or would you not have a mechanic come look at it before you're about to spend $20 or $30 or $40,000? Same thing with a house. Why would you buy a house and not have it inspected? It may look pretty, brand new paint, new flooring, but what's going on behind the walls, right? So that's why you have to have it inspected. You need to spend a few pennies to protect all the hundreds of thousands of dollars that you're about to spend. And speaking of a few pennies, I know it varies depending on where the property is and how big it is and what type of property, but basically, what would a home inspection cost, would you guesstimate?
On average, anywhere between $450 and $500, and that's going to include your termite inspection, that's going to include your pest inspection, a 90-day mechanical warranty, recall check on your appliances, a thermal inspection. So what happened is when I first started this company, I was adding all these little extra services, so thermal inspection and termite inspection, and I was charging for it, but people weren't booking it, but they needed it. So I was doing it already, and so now our price kind of includes just about everything a homeowner will need up front. And that way you don't call me in 6 months and go, hey, where's that termite report? Well, it's already done. It's just part of the process now.
Right. And and people, either if you're native to Texas or if you're moving to Texas, people are going to tell you, oh my gosh, foundation problems in Texas. So isn't it true that the very first thing you do is look at the foundation? Is that section 1 typically?
Yes, sir.
Of your report, and then you go to the roof. That's the other thing in Texas is with our high winds and hailstorms, what's going on with the roof?
Absolutely, and so every roof that we can physically walk on, we will walk on, and then we also have drones in hand. So if it's too tall, like a 2-story or 3-story, we have the ability to use a drone, or we'll hire out a roofer at no charge to you. So all that is done ahead of time before we ever show up.
Great. And in addition to, so they're going to start the foundation, then they're going to do the roof, then they're going to do everything in between. So all the major components. I mean, really, they get down to almost minute, silly details, but they want to do a good job for you, and they want to, to cover themselves and be sure that they don't miss anything. But they may tell you that the light bulb in the closet is out.
It's the never-ending internal struggle of a home inspector to go, do we just do the big things, or do I also call out the small little cracks and paint chips and stuff? So we're always battling, I think, internally with that. Right,
and you don't want to freak out because it can be, how big is a typical home inspection? Would you say 35, 40 pages?
Yeah, for us.
And you don't want to freak out. You just need to focus on the big things that are involved in that.
90% of home inspections, or 90% of issues inside of a home inspection is general homeowner maintenance. It's going to be silicone, it's going to be cleaning your HVAC, changing your air filters, you got leaky, faucets, stuff that's not dramatic.
And that's why I tell people that's why God invented Lowe's and Home Depot. A lot of that stuff you can do after you move in.
Absolutely.
In addition to the house, of course, you mentioned a termite report. If the house is out in the country and has a septic system, you can inspect the septic.
Yes, sir.
If it has a swimming pool, you can inspect the swimming pool.
Yes, sir.
So it's the main structure, of course, but it's also other different kinds of things that it might have.
Absolutely. So if you have a barn, or we did an estate in Allen that had a golf course and it had a baseball field and all kinds of different stuff attached to it. Now, we didn't personally inspect it, but we were able to get the crews together to make that happen. So if we can't do it internally, we're not going to ask you to bring that yourself. We'll handle all that for you.
Great. All right, and I know Level Up, y'all do things a little bit differently than just your run-of-the-mill home inspection company. So tell us a couple of things that set y'all apart from everybody else in your competition.
Well, our biggest thing is our pest control. And so VA inspections and termites are a big no-no. And so if you have termites on a VA inspection, a lot of times that'll hinder your ability to get the loan. Well, if you use us and we find termites, we're able to kind of address that issue ahead of time, working with the seller, working with the buyer, get all that stuff situated, and then we can send a clean termite report to your lender, get all that situated. We also offer or provide you a 90-day mechanical warranty. So AC's moving in the day we do the inspection, you move in, AC's not, it's covered, it's going to have, you get to call your own guy, they'll fix it, and the warranty company basically just writes you a check, as long as it wasn't already called out, ahead of time. But if it's just a surprise, that's kind of what that's there for.
Very good, very good. I actually had a buyer that closed on a house and moved in that weekend, and the compressor went out as they basically were moving in. So I didn't know you back then. They could have used that, but my phone rang, which is good. I'd much rather your phone ring than my phone ring. But anyway, that's the way it goes. So anyway, Brian Fox, Level Up Home Inspections. Brian, tell them how to get in touch with you.
So any of your social media is at Level Up Inspect. Our website is dfwtopinspect.com.
All right. Y'all have a great day. Hope this was helpful. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.